Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the No After No podcast. I'm your host, Jason Gallardo, and I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Here on the No After No podcast, we talk about music, songwriting, producing, and so much more. If you're new to the podcast, I am a singer, songwriter, producer, and musician. I've been doing music for about a year now, but I've been singing since I was just a little kid. The memories of singing with my mom in the car are one of my favorites. Overall, music is a big passion of mine, and I could talk about it for hours. Now, let's get into today's episode. Today is January 24th, 2025. Now, I know Christmas is already over, and we're already 24 days into the new year. But in today's episode, we are going to talk about my new Christmas EP, It's a Jason Christmas. And we're also going to talk about Dan, a character I made for my upcoming album, Dreams and Nightmares. And at the end, we are going to have a little Q&A from Instagram. Now, let's get back into the holiday cheer for a bit. If you've been following my music journey, you know I released a Christmas EP recently. It's called It's a Jason Christmas, and it features a special track called The Only Gift I Need. This project was such a joy to create, but it also came with its challenges. What started this EP was just feeling lonely for Christmas and just stuff like that, and just reflecting on what made the holidays meaningful. And for me, it was the people in my life. That is how The Only Gift I Need was born. And in the background is playing a little Christmas intro, which is the intro to the EP. And it was just something I created for fun. And I wanted to make a transition from each song. And yeah, recording during the holiday season was magical. I mean, even having this small studio, which is just a little office in my house, uh, it's just cozy, you know? And with The Only Gift I Need, I found a way to make it my own, but still feel Christmassy, you know? And for The Only Gift I Need, I added acoustic guitar, some piano, and some sleigh bells for the signature Christmas holiday sound. And yeah, I really loved how it turned out. I was actually really surprised on how nice it sounded. But because I've never written a Christmas song before, especially about longing for someone. Um, and just writing about it was really sad, and it was therapeutic to me. So I really liked writing it. Now I know it's not Christmas anymore, but you can still listen to my Christmas EP on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your music. Don't forget to stream my Christmas single as well. And now, let's shift gears. Let's talk about Dan next. For those of you who haven't been tuned in to the Anagrams Hidden Turn Instagram page, Dan is a character in my album Dreams and Nightmares. Um, he is the little person running in the album cover, and um, as some of you probably haven't guessed, Dan is a character based on suppressed emotions like fear or longing. Um, and basically, Dan is like me in my dreams, like the dream version of me. He is stuck in this dream world with purple trees and a pink sky, and he's been trying to send messages out to people crying for help, basically. Um, when I first started writing this story about Dan, I was really surprised when I saw people actually clicking on the link to see the story. Um, it has died down recently, but I'm still going to continue it because there are some people who are actually in tune to Dan's story and um, just decoding the messages, which are in the, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's, let's just say the V code, um, the cipher. You have to decode the messages that are in the end of each story to help him out, you know? Um, those are the only ways that he can actually get help. So I kind of relay that as like um, masking your personality or something, or just trying to give hidden signals on how you're doing and just asking for help, but not directly asking for help. Because I know for me, I don't necessarily ask for help directly. I show signs of sadness, and sometimes people can realize that and actually figure out, oh, hey, this person needs help and they need me to help them and stuff like that. So I wanted to incorporate that with Dan. The cryptic messages is his way of asking for help in this dreamlike world. Now, I always talk about how dreams actually affect me. Um, in one of the recent dreams I had, I was running after someone and I was getting tired in the dream. I woke up exhausted, like literally in sweat, and I was breathing really hard. And it just shows how much my dreams impact me. And I also see a lot of detail when I'm in my dreams. So I can remember how many cheeseburgers did I order in my dream, or how many people passed me when I was walking on the street, you know? Stuff like that. The way the world shifts around Dan is basically how dreams work. Um, the last dream I had was me working at a fast food restaurant, and I needed to go to the back and do something. And basically, it shifted into this daycare for young children who spoke Spanish. It doesn't make sense, but it kind of changed the whole trajectory of what's going on in the dream. And it's crazy how my mind changes how the world is um, when I'm in a dream. So I wanted to incorporate that with Dan's story. Every time he tries to escape, the dream shifts on him, or the world shifts on him, trying to keep him there. Um, and that also happens with the album. The multiple different genres of music in there, it shifts, but it's also fluid. So it has transitions that helps tell the story and make it all into one. So yeah. Now you might be asking, what is next for Dan? It's only January. That means there is 2 months left. Technically, 1 month and a half until the album. Um, so I can't really reveal much yet. But let's just say there are still a lot of chapters to uncover in his story. Um, I've been working on how to expand his world using audio and just uh, more interactive things with people on Instagram. So stay tuned for that. And now let's get into the Q&A. So I asked my personal Instagram to give me questions to ask on the episode today. And the first question is, do you wonder if the people who you wrote about No, it's about them. Okay. Well, yes and no. The singles for A Broken Mind, which are My Bullies Haunt Me, Scared of Losing You, and I Miss You, they know about it because I told them. And we still talk to this day. Um, I mean, we don't really talk a lot, but it's like we have no um, bad blood between us. Like, we're cool and stuff. Um, the singles for Dreams and Nightmares, on the other hand, like You're a Fool, Rumors, and I'm Tired of This, they don't know. And I don't talk to them because they were really bad people and I could not be around them. Um, well, the first one wasn't a bad person. Well, they just ghosted me. So uh, you can interpret that how you want. But yeah, um, yes and no. The next question is, what's a hot take you have about music? Huh. Well, I have multiple, but one that came to my mind that people tend to talk to me about is autotune is cheating. Um, I know I sound good live and I know I can perform live because I did it at a talent show and um, people were cheering a lot and I get compliments all the time on it. Now, when I use autotune in my music, that's to make sure it sounds good when you're listening to it. All artists use autotune. It's a thing that happens in the industry, and I've become comfortable with using autotune. Even if it sounds like I don't use autotune, I am using autotune. Now, on my first album, no, I did not use autotune because the way it was made in GarageBand, it was hard to navigate, so I didn't use it. Um, yeah, and so I use autotune in this album that I'm coming out with in March. Um, it's just if you use it creatively, it's good. If you use it to sort of just fix your voice, like it just messes up what you're trying to do, that's a different story. But I'm using it creatively. So yeah, that's one of them. Another one would be, I have to mention Taylor Swift. I am not a Taylor Swift hater. I love Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie though. I just love her music and I love what she does and how she promotes her music. What I think is so, how do I put this without people hating me for it? She, I don't want to say overrated, but she is given, no, that's not it either. She is given a lot of credit where credit is due. Now, with the Tortured Poets Department, I felt a little overwhelmed when it was coming out. I loved the promotion for it. The promotion was really good and I liked how she promoted it. I just think giving me all those songs at once was really overwhelming and I just could not sit down and just listen to it all at once. I did listen to a few songs on the album, but just hearing the repetitiveness, like it just it just didn't really help me sit there for a while. So yeah, um, Taylor Swift, great singer, great performer. The Eras tour, big hit. I was having fun watching it on Disney Plus. Um, I just think sometimes she should let other artists have their spotlight. That's what I think. Um, I mean, Billie Eilish got. I'm obviously going to talk about Billie Eilish. And also another thing, Billie Eilish does not whisper sing. It's a vocal technique. And if you're a real singer, you would know that it is a vocal technique. That sometimes when you're singing a certain feeling or in your music, when you need a certain feeling in your music, you have to sing a certain way. And what was I made for? It was a sad song, wondering why, like what you're made for. And singing rock would be totally messing up the story that she's trying to portray. So she had to sing it in a soft voice. Now, yes, sometimes she whisper sings, as some people call it, but she doesn't do it all the time. Like, I hear people say, oh, she whisper sings in Birds of a Feather. No. She belts in that song, Happier Than Ever. She she whisper sings in that song. No. No, she doesn't. Like, she may sing soft sometimes, but she does not whisper sing. So yeah, that was another hot take. But I love Billie Eilish. I love the way she didn't do any singles for her latest album, Hit Me Hard and Soft. I love the way the album was produced and the way it just flowed. You could listen to the whole thing in under an hour. It's 43 minutes and 51 seconds. Yes, I remember memorized how long it was. Um, but I remember listening to it for the first time and I was so shocked because we had never heard Billie sing like that before. And I was listening with my friend Elena. She's amazing. But we were on FaceTime and we were listening, and it was just an amazing experience. And yeah, so those were a few hot takes I had. Um, I don't really, I can't really think of more, but yeah. Um, Next question. Okay. So, what was the first song that made you really get into music? Okay. No One by Alicia Keys was the song that I sang with my mom in the car, like when I was little. That got me into singing, and I just love that song. It's a really good song, and I love Alicia Keys, and her voice is amazing. Um, what got me into music though? Billie Eilish, mentioned again. Phineas, love him, mentioned again. Um, they seeing them in 2019, it was amazing. It's always been a dream of mine to perform on stage, um, and being in choir, being on stage, doing theater, doing musicals and stuff like that. That was a great experience, and I love that. And yeah, that got me into making music. Um, Making My Bullies Haunt Me was writing about an experience that happened when I was little and how it affected me still today, how I still think about how my bullies are doing. Like, it's a weird thing to think about. And especially with that experience, trying to reach out from people where I used to live and then they ignore me. I know it's kind of weird for this random person to be texting you, but I started out with a message like saying, hey, I was in your fourth grade class and I just wanted to see how people were doing. And she was like, oh, what was the teacher? I told her. And she said, oh, and then left me on red. And I was like, wow, that's how big of an ego these people had back then. And I know we're supposed to be talking about music, but we're talking about My Bullies Haunt Me. Um, My Bullies Haunt Me really sparked that. But I hadn't messaged that person until later. And just seeing all these people who used to make fun of me and stuff. And some of the people were nice. They just, when they were around their friends, they were mean towards me. And it was just me and my two friends. They just made fun of us. For what reason, I don't know. They called us gay, um, different names. They picked on me, called me Jason Voorhees, weak, um, and stuff like that. And I was like, why would you go out of your way to bully a kid that you barely even talk to, for one, and has done nothing to you? Now, if I saw them today with the growth I've had from now, um, I think we would get along. Honestly, I've grown to be less annoying, um, and I feel bad that I lost who I was, because that goofy little child was who I was. But I grew up, and I sort of found a way to be that person, just in a more adult kind of sense. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think if I talk to them today, they probably would talk to me more, or just not be mean. But it's just those experiences, of being verbally bullied. I never got physically bullied, but it got so bad to where one person was bullying me, laughed in my face when I fell out of a chair, and they got sent to a different class. And one time we were playing soccer, and the dude looked like me because we both were black and had the same buzz cut, um, and we were both the same height. So my friend got me mixed up, and I tripped the dude who I was trying to get the ball from. When we were playing soccer, and my friend thought it was him. So they kind of fought, and I love my friend. Thank you for standing up for me. I really felt bad for him because it was a big misunderstanding, but the thing is, that person had been mean to me in the past, and my friend was sticking up for me. I tried my best to help my friend, but unfortunately, he got ISS. So, um, yeah. But I will never forget what my friend did for me that day. Um, yeah, my two friends, they were like the closest to me ever, and they were like brothers to me. I miss them dearly. I wish I could see them on the regular, but unfortunately we can't because we live so far away. But yeah, let's get on to the next question. I've talked a lot. How long have you been doing music, and how has your music changed? I have been doing music since 2022. I've been writing music since 2022. I started making music late 2022, and then I released my first single, My Bullies Haunt Me, which we were talking about before, April 21st, 2023. I would say my work ethic when working on music has changed. I am working so incredibly hard instead of just winging it and just releasing an album and rushing it. I really want to portray what story I want to tell, and just show the emotions that I want to show in my music now. And I did that before, just not to the extent I wanted it to. I was very limited, and now that I've learned so much about music production and vocal techniques and stuff like that, I have progressed and started making better music. If you listen to my first single and then listen to Rumors or You're a Fool, you can see a big difference in just a year. And it's actually crazy how that has happened, and I just realized that tomorrow, when this releases, is the first anniversary of my single "I'm Tired of This," which is crazy. Releasing it a year ago is um, baffling to me. So yeah, that's how long I've been doing music, and that's how much I've changed over this past year. I'm very grateful for everyone who listens, and grateful that I have this opportunity, and thankful for my family for getting this equipment that I'm using right now to make this podcast and to create my music. Um, Thank you to everyone. I appreciate you all. And yeah, so the next question is, what is your favorite album of all time? Any genre? Okay. Obviously, I love Hit Me Hard and Soft. I love how she expresses herself in that album. I feel like that is the first time we actually see who Billie is, and she seems a lot happier, and she knows who she is in this album. I also like Scarlet by Doja Cat. Um, I know she's been controversial in the past because of the vision she had on some of her songs. But if you listen to the lyricism, you can kind of see her story and what she's trying to tell. Um, and just the flow of rap. I mean, I'm not saying that this is the best album, even though, in my opinion, it's really great. I don't really listen to rap, so I couldn't really say much. But I really like how rap flows. You have to listen to good rap to enjoy it. So it takes me a bit to adjust to listening to rap. Um, Another album that's really good that I've talked about, I think in the past, was Cowboy Carter. I don't care about the genre. I care about how she sings and the flow of the album. It's so consistent, and it just slides from one song to the next. Like, it feels like it's just one big story, and she just combined all the songs into one story, and it's so cool how she sings, and her vocal technique. Changing your vocal technique to sound like a different genre is extremely hard, and I tried to do it, but it's just not working for me. So yeah, I think those albums were really good, and I hope you aren't disappointed because you have such a great and strong opinion about albums, and I love the way you go in depth on why you like your albums. So thank you for that question. I loved it. I loved answering it. And yeah, I am going to look up some questions because I only had 5 people answer in the story. So, yeah, let me look those up and then I'll come back and answer probably 2 more because this episode is getting lengthy. And, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with a few more questions. And the first question I found was, how do you approach writing music or making music? So first I start out with the beat, the instruments and stuff like that. Um, I try to find something that I can easily sing to. Well, it's not always great to have easy, but something that sounds good and that I would listen to and that other people would listen to, and something that I can enjoy making. Um, if I don't like it, then what's the point of creating it, you know? Um, and then I start out with finding a melody. Do I want it to be more slow pace, or do I want it to be like fast and choppy, you know? Or do I want to sing slower or do I want to sing faster? That's the kind of things I think about. And then I start writing lyrics to the melody I created. So just having all those elements together helps write a song. Um, I, when writing my upcoming album, it's very hard to find a good melody that fits the song because sometimes melodies don't sound right. And that's just been a big struggle when writing. It has to flow correctly or it won't sound good. So, yeah, those type of things. That's my process on making songs and music. Okay, next question. What role does social media play into promoting music? Well, I use Instagram and TikTok to promote my music. Um, I need to find a new way to promote it because I've lost streams. My streams have gone down. Um, just stuff like that. I've lost a lot of audience when promoting. So I need to find a new way that will be engaging towards my audience. And yeah, it's very impactful when you use social media. I just think when you use it, you have to use it correctly. That is attached to your audience and will engage your audience. So if you're thinking about doing music, learn your promoting skills. Learn how to promote for your audience. And I'm still learning that. I'm still a beginner. I mean, I've only been doing music for a year. I still only know so little. So, just using social media helps me um, get my word out, how to promote music, and just stuff like that. Like, hey, I got a new single out. Even if a lot of people don't like it, there are still people who would love to see it and love to listen. So I do that for them. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to the last question of this episode. And here it is. Do you think the music is more about the artist's expression or the listener's interpretation? I believe it can be both. Um, the artist is there to tell a story. It's up to the listener to interpret what they think this person is saying or speaking about. Everyone has their own brain, their own mind, and they all think differently. So I could say, hey, it's about this person, and I really don't like them, but they could see it in a whole different perspective and say, hey, that person is misunderstood. Like, it it works together. You see what I'm saying? Like, everyone has their own opinions, everyone has their own interpretations, their own perspectives. So it honestly depends on both, I would say. I don't know if my answer was both, but I believe it's both. Um, just tell your story, and if you hear a story in music, listen to it and interpret it in your own way. Um, yeah. End of the episode. Let's get it. Unfortunately, that is all we have for today. I could ramble all about my Christmas music, all about Dan, and just answer all your questions forever, but it has to come to an end. I want to thank you all for listening to the fourth episode of the No After No podcast. Make sure to stream all of my music wherever you listen to music, and feel free to follow me on my Instagram at jason.j.gallardo and follow the podcast account at note.after.note. Thank you all again for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. And just know, if you listen to music, note after note, it tells a story. Keep listening to music, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye now. Ugh, that background music is just going to kill me, isn't it? Yeah, don't mind it. The only time I can do this is at night, and my sisters need bedtime music. So, yeah, that might be in most of the episodes, but I really hope you did enjoy this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye, for real.